Hey guys, welcome. This is Reec Radio, Reec Talkcast. Of course, we're live out in the city because we're doing something with some wonderful youth out here, but we wanted to take some time because the good fight that we are trying to fight right now out here is actually the same good fight that you guys are doing on television. Season 6, the last season. We're sad, but I'm glad we got to talk to you guys in the meantime. This is heartbreaking. This is almost as heartbreaking as when Bucknell beat Kansas and I had money on the game. This is almost as that heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know
I was
that's
happy.
near and dear to one of you guys' hearts, right? Right. Exactly. But we just want to say, on behalf of our listenership, that we're really big fans of you guys. It's great to see the great representation you guys have in the the scope of what you guys do. And we've been fans for a long time about what you guys bring to the table. And we just want to say thank you. And we want to talk about some of these wonderful things and topics that you guys are hitting, because there's also some things you guys take it from a comedic approach and entertaining approach. But there's also some things that have been hitting close to home in our community this season. And you guys, also do things like that. How is it being part of such a wonderful cast and crew and show so far?
I got to say that for me, I was just saying a minute ago that what I love about this show, one of the many things I love about this show, is that it's a grown-up show, and I love all kinds of TV. I love sci-fi, I love horror, I love superheroes, I love all of it. But to be a part of a show where we actually talk about what's really happening, and even in the racial arena, which The Good Wife didn't really tackle as much. I mean, The Good Fight really, we have had some unbelievable conversations around race on screen. The characters have actually gotten to delve into topics that make everybody uncomfortable, but topics we all really need to talk about.
Right. Nyambi, how about same question?
I was a part of something that is important, that helped forward a conversation that we need to have in this country. Several conversations.
Absolutely.
Could you repeat the question one more time? Because he glitched, and so I lost it.
I understand. No, we're just asking, how does it feel to be part of an entertainment piece, but also being able to tackle questions and subjects that are near and dear to the society right now?
Yeah, no, like Michael Boatman said, it is true. We are on a grown-up show, and we're having grown-up conversations, and grown-up conversations in the way that we grew up seeing the grown-ups have, where they would have differing opinions and argue it out. Especially in the Nigerian home, look at we always arguing. Yeah, it's just back and forth, and then they'll talk about something else that is not political, something that's just normal everyday thing, and it's all good. So what's great about this show is that it's putting all of those topics in the forefront and saying, all right, boom, here's the topic. Everyone have at it. What's your opinion on it? What's your opinion on it? How do you deal with it? How do you deal with that? And it's great to see, because I don't feel like it's. I think one of the misnomers is that they have. I think quickly, some people who don't watch quickly brush it off as, oh, they only talk about liberal ideas. That's it. That's they're and it's like, no, they go after everyone. They you know what I mean. So I think it's been special. It's been awesome to be a part of something that really does try and do what its title says, and that's fight the good fight.
Right. I really appreciate that. The comments from both of you guys. Michael, we've been following you for a while, man. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you're legendary, brother, and we appreciate what you've been bringing.
Thank you.
Sometimes what we don't like,
no
problem. Sometimes that we see as people of color, we see sometimes that we get typecast. We get cast for certain things and only depict certain parts of life. But we've been able to see you play both ends of the spectrum. How important is that for the youth coming up and guys like Nyambi that are coming up and making their way? And I'm saying, Nyambi, you've been doing some great work too, off stage and in front of the camera. But how important is that for people to see us be more than what we're typically seen as?
Wow. Thank you, first of all, for saying all that. And if that has been a part of my career, and I've certainly strived or striven for that, to be able to, I always said, look, I want to do shows and I want to do roles where my kids can watch it 50 years from now and not be embarrassed or not feel like,
Right.
oh, Dad, kind of slowed out on that one. But I can tell you how important it is from this perspective in just because of my own experience with the movie Black Panther. There is an unbelievable part of that movie that I think everybody remembers, but maybe in the hype of it, this moment gets lost. After everything has happened and the things and the bad guys and Wakanda is safe and everything else, there's an unbelievable moment where Shuri and T'Challa come to Oakland in one of the special flying saucer things, and they're sitting there, right? Now I'm watching this. The first time I saw this movie, I'm with my kids, I'm with my son, his friends. I get emotionally think about it. And the kids all run around and they're like, oh my God, yo, that's dope. What is that? Because the ship, right? And then you hear them all talking about, oh, I'm gonna take that, man. I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do. You hear all this joke as they kind of walk off. And there's one kid. There's one kid that goes up to that sees T'Challa and Shuri and walks up to them and is like, what? Where? Who? How? Dude, that kid was me my whole life. And I know if it was me, there are a million other kids like that who suddenly see, wow, there's another life out here. There's another world, that there's potential that I don't even know about, and it just dropped out of the sky. And so to be able to be a part of that, it certainly, I've certainly, as I said, strived to always be proud and to sort of find those moments for myself and for my children and for the people who are watching, to go, oh, so the life is a little bit bigger for us. It can be a little bit bigger for us than maybe we know, just based on where our neighborhood is or where we are in the world. And so I think it's, to answer your question, it's incredibly important. I mean, if we can't be inspired by art to expand ourselves and to go beyond our limits, then, it's not really art. And so I don't know if there are certainly television that I say is not artful, but this show has certainly been that for me.
Absolutely. To see you guys in suits and ties and professional and do a wide range of acting is definitely awesome. And Nyambi, I know I come from I didn't get to that Division I level like I wanted to, like a lot of us were, hoping to be, but I was able to play at a high level, made some friends. And I know you were able to do the same thing. What's one piece of advice you would give for the athletes that's entering or about to end their senior year and is thinking about the next move and maybe thinking about acting? What would be that one tidbit of information you would give them?
Well, one of the great things about going from being an athlete to being an actor is that there are so many parallels between acting and what the athlete experiences, that it's actually they're quite revelatory when they happen. So like when rehearsals are practice. When you're running plays, that's the blocking. When you're when you're working on sort of like certain moves, you're working on the intention, like how, and then sort of the counter move. So it's based on how that the player across from you, the actor, what they give you, you have a counter move to that, and so then you start to build in that way. There's so many different parallels, in terms of being an athlete and being an actor, to where I almost feel like they're one and the same in many ways. And then, of course, when you get to play in front of big crowds and all that, and having the opportunity to do that on stage, like that's, it felt like home for me, being in front of an audience like that. But what I would say definitely is, in the same way that you would study your craft for me, basketball. I was always recording, every single game.
Hmm.
There's a game where God Sham God did a move against Arizona. We did the Sham God, and I have it
Hmm.
on tape. And if you go back and watch that tape, you can see it start to skip a little because I watched that thing over and over and over again, trying to study that move. That's how
That's
it
it,
was,
right?
right? So then,
Uh-huh.
the same way you study your craft as an athlete, you study your craft as an actor. So I would say take classes,
Yes.
go to school. I would say, watch as much TV, watch as many movies, read as many scripts, break down
Hmm.
scripts. How would I do this scene if that were me? Don't be afraid to be a background actor. I started as a background actor, watching actors do their thing,
Hmm.
learning the lingo, and then ultimately knowing where I wanted to be in this business, and continuing to study so that I can get to a place of being in that place where I always imagined myself in this business. Playing great parts, but working with great actors, working with Michael Boatman, and then you know, it's just been such a wonderful experience. You know what's crazy about the legendary status being Michael Boatman?
Oh my God.
Right.
I literally
Talk,
said
come
it.
on, tell
I
us
told,
something.
well, I said to him, I said, "Yo, China Beach, which is like, is that one of the first things you did, or like,
The
yeah,
first TV show, yeah.
his first TV
Yeah.
show?" I said, "I remember China Beach." He's like, "No, you don't. You don't remember that, man." He's like, I was like, "Isn't that the one where like the intro where the helicopter comes up and you see the
Oh
sun
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like I said that to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, 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 yeah." I'm telling you, that's how far back he goes. You know,
Right. Right.
I don't go that far back. I googled it, but
Yeah, right.
no, 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 no. I go. I mean, but that's how far back I've been
Very polite
watching
way
this
of
man.
saying I'm old. Is that what you're
Yeah,
telling
yes, exactly. No, but I've been watching this man do his thing since then.
Right.
And then
Absolutely.
for him to cross over in different mediums, to
Hmm.
do the drama, the comedy. I've been fortunate enough to do that myself, but I feel like, to go from Mike and Molly to the Good Fight, but I feel like that's the precursor to that is Michael Boatman. You know,
Yes.
me?
Absolutely.
Thank
so
you.
Absolutely.
like,
Thank you.
I
so
agree.
yeah, so
Thank you.
I agree.
he kicked the door. He's kicking a door that opened that others before him have kicked. He's kicking it several doors so that I can do the same thing and hopefully do the same thing for the athletes that are coming out of their senior year.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, Nyambi Nyambi, that's what he did. And then he
Hmm.
went to study at these different schools and did this, blah, 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 and boom. And then they can do their thing. And hopefully, um, we don't have to kick doors open because it's just wide open for people
It's
to
already
anybody to walk
open.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Already open. I know we're short on time. I definitely appreciate you guys. I want everybody that's listening and watching to make sure you go see The Good Fight. Watch every episode. If you haven't seen up to season 6, go ahead and binge it now. Paramount Plus. I appreciate you guys for jumping on with us. I do have one question because you both have had some iconic characters on the show, and we're all gonna miss them. But what is one thing that you miss the most about leaving that character on the table?
Oh man, suits, like beautiful suits. I went back to, every once in a while a show will at the end they'll like sell certain items, certain
Uh-huh.
things from the set, kind of just hey, if you want this. They stopped doing that right around the time I was on China Beach. I actually, it's very funny you bring that up
Okay.
because I think the studios realized, oh wait, we can use these $1,000 suits for other shows. And
Hmm.
so when I called up to see, and we had one of those sales recently. Did you go, Nyambi? I didn't go.
Nah, I was in Toronto.
I said, are any of my suits? I mean, Christine Baranski's character, Diane Lockhart, literally has a warehouse that is like, I don't know,
Wow.
2 blocks long or something crazy with all of her.
I can believe it, brother. You're right.
Right. There are websites devoted to what she wore from episode to episode, and that's all because of Dan Lawson, our unbelievable costume designer. So yeah,
Wow.
I miss dressing like a grown up, like a
I
well-paid
think we
grown
will
up.
all miss that.
Yeah,
Right.
not same. I miss those jackets.
Yeah.
jackets.
Oh yeah, man. Jake always
Yeah,
looked good too.
yeah.
Right. Right. So maybe we can start a GoFundMe petition for you guys to get your wardrobe from set.
Yeah, man. Help us get a wardrobe,
That's
man.
good.
There we go. I love it. Well, once again, thank you guys so much for joining us and speaking with our listenership and our viewership. We appreciate it. We're definitely going to be binge watching and catching up on everything and all that is the good fight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks everybody for listening.
Right now, who you with? Reec. Who you with? Right now, who you with?